In this section, we'll be looking at SIP redirection, at what it is and how it works. Now, service providers, as well as offering a registrar and location service, could offer a redirection service. What for? Perhaps to help transition users to another provider. Imagine Nath at abc.com wants to move to xyz.com. Of course, his SIP address of record would change from sipnath at abc.com to something like sipnath at xyz.com. And instead of registering with ABC, he'll register with XYZ. But what about calls made to his ABC address? What happens to them? Well, that depends. ABC might not want to provide a redirection service. After all, they'd be losing custom to another provider, right? Receiving an invite to Nath at ABC, the server queries its registry only to find no matching records, so returns a 404 not found, or perhaps a 604 does not exist. On the other hand, it might have a reason to offer redirection, for $5 a month perhaps. So long as it knows the old address and the new address, it can provide a redirection service if it wants. Now, note how SIP does not provide any mechanism for registering a redirection address. It's up to each vendor to decide how to set up such an arrangement, probably through a call center or a web interface. Then, when an invite arrives addressed to nath at abc.com, on finding no location details, the server perhaps checks its redirection data, and then, rather than proxying the request downstream, sends back a 300 redirection response upstream. With recursion enabled, the upstream server retrieves the invite from memory, updates it with the new address of record, and proxies it downstream to XYZ. A quick look up in its registry there, and the invite is on its way to Nath's phone. Just winding back a moment, from what you know already about SIP, where in the redirection response do you suggest the redirection address of record will be? In fact, why not take a moment to click here for the upstream server log, then study it, particularly the 300 response from the redirect server, and find for yourself which SIP header provides the redirection rerouting address for the upstream server. Go ahead and press play when you're ready. The redirection address of record is set in the contact address of the 300 response. Receiving it, the upstream server checks DNS for the XYZ server, retrieves the invite from memory, copies the redirected address of record from the contact header of the response to the request URI, and proxies the request downstream. From there, it's business as usual, the downstream server resolving the address of record and proxying to the phone. So, the main points again: SIP redirection enables a server to provide a forwarding service without having to proxy the request itself. The redirected address is returned in the contact header of a 300 type response. The upstream server copies the new address of record to the request URI and proxies the request downstream. Now, redirection is an optional service. Not all providers will necessarily offer the service. Finally, SIP does not provide a mechanism for registering a redirection address. Providers will typically implement it themselves through a web interface or perhaps even a call center.